Hi, Coach Curly here. You're about to meet Mia. Mia presented wanting to know how to get a husband to change his attitudes and beliefs and how she could get out of the whole struggle mode. What you'll see is that we needed to tackle some much deeper issues. Take a look. Hi, welcome to another session with Coach Curly. Today we're working with Mia.
Hi, Paul.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So what do you want to work on today, mate?
Relationship with men, especially
Yep.
to my husband.
Uh-huh.
At the moment, I'm down the hill. I've got two children. One is 7 and one 13 years old, and they're both boys. The reason why I'm having difficulty with my husband is he can't understand where I'm coming from. In terms of finance, making work out for my business. Until at that moment, he always looking me down, and he doesn't understand what I want to achieve in life. Every time he look at me, I feel like I'm no use to him. I feel like I'm not smart enough. And since then, that it keeps dragging me down where I was a kid, that me and my father relationship is kind of like he always compare me with my sister, and I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, and she's smart enough. And that carries me towards that, all the blockages that I have within me. It seems like I'm not good at anything and I won't succeed it. So I'm very nervous of who I'm going to become and what I can contribute to my children. I don't want them to see me that I'm weak. That's why I always pretend that I'm strong and I'm dominant to my husband, but it doesn't work that way. We always end up arguing, fighting, and even in the small things. I've been through a lot of seminars, workshops, but it seems like it doesn't sink in to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just
Nothing's wrong with you. That's the beginning point. Nothing's wrong with you. Some things you're not able to make work the way you want them, but we can just sort that out. But fundamental to your existence, nothing is wrong with you. And mostly everything is right with you. We pay a lot of attention to the bits that we feel are not working. So I'm just going to pick a couple of bits and pieces because that's a big lot of stuff. There's all sorts of father issues and that influence your whole life, those sort of things. But when you say that your husband doesn't understand where you're coming from, my question would be, have you explained?
Yes, I explained it many times, but he
Okay.
always shuts down.
Okay, good. Now, what happens in disagreements is that you, in this case, feel like you are not understood.
Yes.
That's because we make the assumption that if you understood me, you would agree with me. So it's not that he doesn't know where you're coming from, he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
He disagrees that that's a good place for you to be. So you're thinking, if I can get him to understand where I'm coming from, he'll agree with me. But he may never.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get him to do the equivalent of change of religion rather than let it be.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so he doesn't agree. He's not saying it, or maybe he is saying he doesn't agree. I don't. How does he voice it to you that?
He doesn't like me being out there and neglecting my children. He thinks that I'm neglecting them because I'm doing my business full time. And being with the business side of my line of work, I deal with people, and most likely I deal with men. And he's very protective of who I'm going to turn out with. And because there was this gentleman that he's my business partner, and he's really kind to me and protecting me as well with the rest, of the team. And he uplift me to become good person, become successful in life. And the bad thing side of it is like I fall for this guy, and it shouldn't be because I'm already a married woman, and I married a man for my 2 children. But the love and the soul that connects it, it's not there anymore.
Yep.
It seems like because he always looking me down. He looks everything what's wrong with me instead of me understanding it for my perspective for what I want to do in my life.
Okay, so what we do is we get our issues and we load them up onto each other.
Yes.
So if I'm not happy as a person, then I'm going to blame my wife instead of me. So all of a sudden she's in trouble because I'm not happy. So you get a whole pile of issues like you've got, like, you know, obviously this thing with men has run all through your life. So it's not specific to your husband.
Yes.
It's men in general. And you said you've fallen for this other guy, but have you?
Yes.
Or has he just been nice to you?
It's a mutual understanding that we know that we like each other.
Yep.
But we don't want to go from there because he doesn't want to interfere in my life. I don't want to break my relationship, like broken family for my kids.
Yep.
So that's why I go along with my husband. I'm trying to.
Yeah. Okay, so the risk here is that we don't get to the core issue because there are so many issues laid onto each other. But I'm very suspicious of the business partner, not from the point of view of what you or him might do, but because you like him because he's nice to you. And if he's the first man who's been nice to you, then that will feel like, your feelings towards him will feel like love.
Yes.
It may not be love, it's just that he's nice to you. So if you've been treated badly all your life and someone treats you well, that can feel like you love them, and maybe you don't. Maybe he's just the first decent character turned up. So, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I think your husband, by the sound of it, is suspicious that you'll go and form a relationship with this guy.
Yes.
That's probably fair enough for him to feel that way, given what you've said.
That's true.
Is that you do have these feelings for this guy. Blind Freddie, you remember Blind Freddie? Blind Freddie could pick up that you are not in the relationship with your husband. So, what do you want to do? Where do you want to get to?
I want to become more successful in life, and I want to coach and have the ability to speak to people who I am, not because of my past experience and being a victim.
I actually meant what do you want to do as far as your husband is concerned? Because that's a fundamental thing. That's going on every day.
I want to understand where he is coming from. First, I open my heart again for him to be able to connect the love and affection. That's why, because I'm a very impatient person, and every time he agitates me or he sparks an argument, I go bizarre. Like, whatever you call it, a war freak or whatever. And he thinks like, I don't let it go. I keep carry on and provoke him to have a huge fight, a real fight.
Mm-hmm. And why do you figure you do that? What do you get out of that?
Nothing. It hurts here.
Oh, you'll get something out of it.
I don't know.
Well, if you make it a big enough fight, what will happen?
It creates more problems, especially to my children.
Yeah, but make it bigger than that. If the fight is big enough, what happens?
It breaks my marriage.
Uh-huh.
And my kids will never have a father.
Well, they might. So there's a whole lot of preconceptions about that. But there's a part of you that wants the marriage busted. There's a part of you that wants the marriage broken up in a big fight, so that you're free to go and do what you want to do. And there's another part of you says that'll be terrible.
Yes, it is terrible. I don't want to be selfish.
But you have to understand there's these two parts. Can you see what I'm getting at? There's a part of you, may not be a big part, but there's a part of you wants one of these fights to be the end of it.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to stick in the relationship and you want it to end, then you're torn. And in being torn, then you are hurt and aggravated, and that's what makes you short-tempered.
Yes.
When you start these fights, do you behave in a way that you're proud of?
No.
Okay, because there's a couple of kids watching.
Yes.
So can you afford to keep doing that?
No. Because I keep beating myself up every time after the argument. It seems like no one wins, and it's more especially I lost, because I'm the one who's attended a lot of seminars, workshops to become a better person, but it seems it's getting worse.
Yeah, because it's not resolved.
No.
Because you're not becoming a better person.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for an answer here or here.
Yeah.
But the answer's here. So what do you need to find?
Love
Hmm?
and more an understanding.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest that you are love and peace. That's the truth of your existence. You are nothing except love and peace.